that you people are using legal jargon to protect people in this country? I've told you how election 2020, someone's husband, the Mensah's husband, got land. There has to be a commission of inquiry.
I agree with you.
How that land ended up with him when the land belongs to the Ghana Tourism Authority? What work had he done for the state? How much did he buy it? These are issues, matters that when you go into it and investigate properly, it gives confidence to society. We have been in a country where former Chief Justice bought a land for 7,000. Sophia Akufo. Go and see a lot of judges. Can't you see my brother? He furnished me data. They buy lands at cantonment 7,000, 6,000. So yes, as though the people that you call opinion leaders, elderly statement that they don't deserve your attention even a minute, because it's like a cult, a club. They come and steal from the state, and you and I continue to wallow in abject poverty when the wealth of the nation could be used to satisfy all of us. David, these are the issues Ghanaians stood on to vote, and the Ghanaian has never been wrong. If you take them for a ride, you might be, and that is why they are watching carefully this administration. They must not take the votes, the overwhelming victory they got for granted. They must keep reminding themselves, what did we tell the people? What were the issues based on which the people voted for us? What are we doing to meet those aspirations? And I'm telling you, corruption was number one on the list.
Sure.
Corruption. How can we have Auditor General's report every day? We are being looted. How can we have ECG? This matter, the thing is dead. Cables. You remember the cables? Hey, don't play with this. The cables matter.
Yeah.
When a federal Martins himself went to Parliament and said that it's normal thing, he was the butcher. What are we talking about? Are we that?
My never I say my PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. I see them. Yopo.
The former president has jumped into the fray. 1 year on, he says that key policies like DDEP, Cathedral, and PDS contributed to the NPP's 2024 defeat. So the former president has finally spoken 1 year on. No, Akufo.
PDA. No, it's exciting to hear.
No, just to be certain. So the former president, John Akufo, he is criticizing the Akufo-Addo's key policies, and he's saying that DDEP, that's a domestic debt exchange program, the Cathedral, and then the PDS contributed to NPP's 2024.
He added the land matter. He added land.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was so excited hearing him talk about land. Since he was party.
So yeah, your
so David, today is the 8th of December 2025. Is the birthday of Mr. Akufo, former president. So
yes.
Let me wish him a happy birthday. I don't know whether he will be happy, and I don't know whether he has to be happy. But if I were him, I would not be happy at this stage, especially when it was so obvious that things were going in a very bad direction, wrong direction. Things were, the kind of governance that we were treated to by Akufo-Addo Bawumia was nothing to write home about. Yet he decided to keep quiet, look unconcerned. If he was concerned, I don't know the channels that he expressed it, but at least the interview that he did with the delay has exposed that he was not talking to anybody, and neither those in government were also speaking to him. So he has confirmed. You see, we have been making this disposition time without number. I have said it severally, that he has been part of the reason the MPP has collapsed. People didn't understand. Thankfully, in our lifetime, he has come to confirm whatever some of us said. And for me, it's enough. They say better late than never. But his lateness has collapsed the MPP. His lateness has caused a lot of innocent souls in this country to die. Remember the DDEP. And remember the banks, the banking sector collapse. Dr. Michael Ejekum Kama, when he told the entire country that 800 of his colleagues died because of some of these policies. And so if President Akufo had spoken then, probably it would have saved, if not all, half of them. You kept quiet, you sat down, and now this is the result. So what do we do with this late revelation? If I saw a revelation, all of us knew. You know, I keep saying that people, the mere fact that someone is a president does not mean you have sense past anybody.
Yeah.
Or you are, we, like last year we were coming on this table, a lot of them are now ministers. All of a sudden you are ministers, so you have sense past more than I do. It doesn't work like that. What give me, it doesn't change anything. The position is only there. Tomorrow, David, you can be the president of the land. You will be accorded the same respect. She too will be made a minister. You will be accorded the same respect. It is the reason why any office you go, public office you go, you see those that have occupied it before. It is just to refresh your memory that tomorrow you will also not be here. Last year by this time, Mahmoud Bawumia had conceded defeat. He conceded on the 8th of December 2024. Some were praising him for that. He had no other business or option than to concede. If we have lost an election, must we pamper you? What would he have done?
He saved us the tension.
Which tension? He would have been forced out of the system if he had done anything otherwise.
2 million countries.
You have lost an election. Elections are counted at the polling station. All of us went to school. At least if we didn't even go to school, we have our calculator. We can add 1 to 2 to 3. We had only 276 constituencies. Results have been put together. It shows that you have lost. What can you do again, David? Tell me. Those are saying that we should praise him. Praise him for what? Before you sign on to contest the election, you knew very well that there are 2 outcomes. Either you win or you lose. Each one you must accept it. So last year by this time, he had conceded. Now, last year also by this time, Ghanaians had shown that they wanted an end to Galamsey. Is the reason they voted overwhelmingly for the National Democratic Congress. Last year by this time, Ghanaians have voted to oust corruption. They needed this country to put a stop to corruption. Look, people think we are. That's why I still believe that we need to do a lot of surgical operations with the SWAL administration. If we don't do it and do it properly, I'm telling you, politicians will take it for granted. This current administration, we are yet to get their financial auditor general's report on them. Is that not the case? But if we allow the SWAL administration to go unpunished, then what moral authority will we have to punish those who are in government today? It is the reason why some of us are still concentrating on them. They have the booties in their pocket. They stole beyond. And look, it's not as if we don't know. We live with these people. Ghana is the only country. I have told you time with that number that if you take out Ethiopia, the next concerned country is Ghana. Now everybody knows everyone's story. David, you can go and live in a community you have never said good morning to your neighbor, but I can tell you, your neighbor can tell your story from head to toe. That is the country we live in. Somebody knows you. Other person knows other person. The person does not have your permission, but he will be discussing your matter you have discussed with. So they came to steal. They came to loot. And the evidence abounds everywhere. How on earth would the Ghanaian not vote against you when they know very well that you are sunk? Even at that time, you were thinking that the amount of money that was sunk into the National Cathedral was only $58 million. Yeah. Only for a change of government to come and becomes $97 million. How on earth, David, tell me, you convince me. Now the former president who had kept quiet all these while President Akufo had to admit that he did not understand how anybody. It's a direct attack on the integrity of Akufo that this was so stupid a decision. It's something that you're afraid to tell him. But you have to tell him whilst he's alive. So that anytime he gets opportunity in the next world to lead a country, he will not go and dig any hole. How on earth will convince you that? And I agree with PD that those pastors that were on the committee or whatever, the National Secretariat, Cathedral Secretariat, who convinced or who also encourage the president to do such a useless project must be prosecuted.
They went back recently to beg for start of the project.
No, but I last time in the early days of this administration, I heard the Minister of Local Government, what's the name? Ibrahim say that look, President Mama, I have said that the only solution you have for this cathedral is to go and put up a billboard and write how not to govern the country. Leave it there. Let that land be there so that to remind them, yes, anytime they see it, Akufo and family and these MPP people, anybody who was part of this decision will not be made to go closer to power. You understand? Such a despicable act is here, right in the middle of the city, the central business district. I have told you that I'm a valuer. If you are going to value the land alone over there, you are talking about 14 point something acres. That runs to almost $40 million. The land alone. Now we are not talking about the distractions that took place on the land. Judges were living there. You had other. You understand? The cost of demolition, the cost of relocation. If you were to add it, it will be more than the $97 million they are quoting. Because the $97 million is the physical amount that was committed into the hole. Now, what about the cost of relocation of the judges, the demolition, the clearing of the debris, the compensation? If you add, you'll be running into almost $200 million. And you have such a person, a human being that led this country to take this decision. What annoys me the most is that today, former President Akufo continues to draw salaries from the state. So what it means is that in this country, we encourage people to come and mismanage us, and after that, we reward them for that. He has a security. He has a gardener. He has a press secretary. He goes about, and there is a siren ahead of him. For what work? If all you could come and do as a president to come and dig a hole, then I'm afraid it is the easiest job on earth. His own finance minister. A year by this time, the Ghanaian was voting that Ken Ofori will be prosecuted without any fear. That was why there was so much anger. Let me tell you, election 2024, we were saved by grace. If James Mensah and his co-workers have done anything on top, I'm telling you, by now, we will not be sitting here. It will be bloodbath all over the place. Because the Ghanaian was never going to accept anything. And mind you, when the people decide, is the reason why Article 1 is so clear, the sovereignty of this country resides in the people. When the people decide that, David, they don't want to, no amount of military might. The soldier in the bars will even forget that there's a gun to cock. Because this country belongs to the people. So we voted.
Even the soldiers,
Absolutely.
They go to the market. The soldiers, they are part of us.
So we voted to take out corruption. We voted that guy who is now in parliament, Kingsley Agyemang, who are doing anything anyhow, the scholarship secretariat will be dealt with. We voted, and I understand next week. I mean, the promise that they gave to us concerning the All Africa Games, the 13th edition, the forensic audit that was commissioned by the president. They told us that by the second week of December, that report has to be ready. We voted that the $15 million that was used to cook water and so on and so on by those so-called organizers of that criminally minded organization will be exposed and punished.
They did to his wife.
But yeah, to his wife.
She cooked 15 million. That's a record, though.
That we use almost $4 million to print tax. That we claim we use $145 million to build that rubbish at whatever cost Olympic Stadium. Rubbish. That we use $34 to $36 million to complete the University of Ghana stadium. That we claim we use. Yeah. If as a country we are going to use it as a yardstick, then we will not achieve our developmental goals early enough. Because I'm not too sure President Mama will go and dig a hole, $97 million. That alone will make him better than the rate at which they were stealing. It's the reason why our dollar, the city was never stable. I just wanted to do the debt report from the World Bank. Go and read it. We are put in the same levels as Sri Lanka, as Haiti, as Somalia, and as Sudan. And that is why Kerofolata has run away. And that is why this OSP must be very serious and must not, that we are not joking in this country. When we are looking for our money, we are looking for people who have stolen from us. that you people are using legal jargon to protect people in this country? I've told you how in 2020, someone's husband, the Mensah's husband, got land. There has to be a commission of inquiry.
I agree with you.
How that land ended up with him when the land belongs to the Ghana Tourism Authority. What work had he done for the state? How much did he buy it? These are issues, matters that when you go into it and investigate properly, it gives confidence to society. We have been in a country where former Chief Justice bought a land for 7 times. Sophia Akufo. Go and see a lot of judges. Courtesy my brother, he furnished me data. They buy lands at cantonment 7 times, 6 times. So it has as though the people that you call opinion leaders, elderly statement, that they don't deserve your attention even a minute, because it's like a cult, a club. They come and steal from the state, and you and I continue to wallow in abject poverty, when the wealth of the nation could be used to satisfy all of us. David, these are the issues Ghanaians stood on to vote. And the Ghanaian has never been wrong. If you take them for a ride, you might be. And that is why they are watching carefully this administration. They must not take the votes, the overwhelming victory they got for granted. They must keep reminding themselves, what did we tell the people? What were the issues based on which the people voted for us? What are we doing to meet those aspirations? And I'm telling you, corruption was #1 on the list.
Sure.
Corruption. How can we have Auditor General's report every day? We are being looted. How can we have ECG? This matter, they think is dead. Cables. You remember the cables? Hey, John Jirapoma, don't play with this. The cables matter.
Yeah.
When a federal Martins himself went to Parliament and said that it's normal thing, he was the butcher. What are we talking about? Are we that dumb? We must not. What about Ajimamenu, Koko Ajimamenu? The people were voting. Sputnik V. The airport. Remember the frontiers. They bought a criminal entity to come and take almost $90 million. How much did they give to the country? The Ghanaian was voting to expose that and to make sure that it will come back to the state. What about the COVID money that they claim that we used to cook? Fresh food, is there hot food? 54 million Ghana. Did you ever enjoy some? Did you get some? Only ghost ate that food. The Ghanaian was voting to expose that. We did year of rose 2017, 2018, 2019. Yet in our country, everywhere, all the roads leading out of Accra, not in good condition. So what did we use the money for? We were told that 52 billion cedis was transferred from a tax account at GCB to an unknown account. As we speak, we don't know the end of it.
And the Auditor General is still at post.
And the Auditor General, what are you doing at post?
House cleaning.
You see, David, so there are a lot of issues. But because we believe that if we are going to help this administration, this president, he has what it takes to do it. I will plead with all those that matter in this administration that they must look at the unborn generation and help this president. Because if you are the president, you cannot be everywhere. You can only assign responsibilities. My issue has always been whether those that are assigned the responsibilities, they also share the views of the president. If they don't, they will shortchange all of us. And people will get away and come and tell our children in the future that your parents were smarter. You cannot be a smart parent when you only came to steal from the state. You stole the tax revenue meant for development. And that cannot be smartness. So it is important that we keep this administration on its toes. We always remind them what led them to that emphatic victory. Remember, we also took part in the elections. We went to the people of this country, showed our message. They said, no, this is not the time. Let's give the benefit of the doubt to John Mahama. Ever since he came, on the economic front, all the indicators, he has bettered it. And I said that this, he must not be happy because Nana Akufo-Addo's administration must be a sponge. We must forget about him, forget. Class 1 would have even done better than that. Class 1 people, we class 1 people go and dig a hole. Now, when I hear some of the MPP people say posterity will judge him right, I say, are you kidding me? You must be crazy to think that posterity will judge the digging of the whole of 97 million as being a good governance by a president. He will go down. Anyway, we are yet to know whether someone will come and dig a hole which is expensive than 97, so that the person will come and beat his record.
We wait to see.
Let me end it here and you carry on.
All right, so let me just quickly go through some of our messages.
Please, before the messages, I think that this document, a petition, must go to the OSP.
No, it don't go.
What Samidaku said, which is irritating, is that they are too busy. They are not interested.
They are too busy.
So please join us.
You mean
yes? We had a conversation about that.
Yeah.
I've given him copies of
They are not there to protect anything. They are not there to protect.
I indicated to him that the person who brought the documents is ready to testify. In fact, we have more documents and we are ready to testify. They are too busy. This is corruption related. He's not interested. The OSP is not interested. They are too busy. Please join us. Let us send a petition and follow it as a media person.
Right, we'll do that.
I see.
Okay, so let's go to Facebook, read a couple of messages. This one is from Hayford Gerardo Delim. It says, Africa's democracy is more of a checkered, is more of a chokehold on the necks of the citizenry. Just take a snap look at Togo. William Nyakun says, good morning, Pan-African TV. I think most African leaders are hypocrites. My reason is that when one uses the gun to overthrow an elected government, that is when they come in with the word condemn. But when one uses the pen to overthrow government, like the situation in Togo and Ivory Coast, then these same leaders will all open their mouth to talk. Alhaji Haruna from Ashaiman writes, the NDC and President Mahama should be careful about electricity and water tariffs. Don't forget it was one of the reasons the NDC lost the 2016 elections. Yes, you have solved the doomsday, and yet the majority of Ghanaians could not buy light and water, so please watch out. David Asante writes, no one is independent, so we should stop making that statement. Patrick Nketia, in fact, the NPP Akufo government was useless and incompetent. Those messages are on Facebook. Let's do our WhatsApp messages. This one says, is from Ken Wilson. Says, good morning. Tell your panelists that the removal of Charlotte Osei was not a mistake, but a well-planned scheme written in the Ejapadie book to hijack power and control sensitive institutions such as the judiciary, the media, embassies, parliament, state lands, and the rest. Please keep your messages short, right? Please host. Okay, so I read it. You're asking me to read. I read that. This one says, my name is Roberta Pau. Good morning, panel members and all Ghanaians. Exactly a year after the 2024 elections, the lesson I have learned is never to bring NPP back to power. I can now wake up without stress. Please don't call, just text. Without power. Now, if the fundamentals are strong and the dollar is rewarding, and the dollar is rewarding Ghanaians. All right, this one is from Akpalo Daniel. It says the NDC must at the very best honor its own loyal party agents with decent and dignified employment. These men and women stood guard at the polls, protected the party's interests and defended the integrity of our democracy. This one says, good morning, Pan-African TV. Please tell the NDC man, there's no end. Okay, I won't say it. Please tell the NDC man that the oral is taking too much time, days, weeks, and months. During the campaign time, you didn't tell us that there will be negotiations. We said collect the money, properties, and jail them. Thank you.
If you don't do it, that means 2028
Good morning. Please tell Mr. Solomon that I need his number. Okay. He has really made my day. Okay. This one is Ken. I think I've read this one. Ken, don't keep sending messages. Said, good morning. My name is Marcus Komu in Vigolokwati. Please tell Mr. Solomon I actually admire his courage. I'll be pleased to have his number. Oh, okay. Vigolokwati. It's a lovely. You know there. It's
I'll be there, but I'll be there this Christmas.
It's the last town before, I think, Hohoi or something. It's a lovely place.
I'll check the date, but I'll be there this December.
Oh, okay. I went there during their Velukusi festival. Yeah. They have a festival, some famous festival, and I was invited some 2 weeks ago. It's a beautiful town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful town.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. And they have a dialect that's, look, it's not just like the Ewe. They have a different dialect they speak. You know?
Oh.
Yeah. They speak the Ewe as well, but the
dialect is indigenous there.
Yeah, okay. So your message is ready. It says you will come there, so don't worry. Okay, so let's do this last one. So Musa Mahama says, good morning, Pan-African TV. You all know Nanado was only interested in getting the children votes. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, lastly, democracy is an indulgence of rich nation. There is no country where democracy was used as a vehicle to develop. Nations develop through good management and vision of honorable people. To be elected, you must lie because you will always choose the easy way out. Free SAGS is a case in point. That's from Muhammad Badwata. I hope I got it right. So the messages are, coming. So many messages. Good morning, Mr. Host and your panelists. Sadness has taken over my heart, and so this morning when I heard Papa Akufo speaking. Why? Where was he during the years of Nanado government? It's our taxes that are being used to look after him as a statesman, but kept quiet and allowed us to suffer all these years. God is watching all of us. This is Kelvin Brown from Brekum. All right, so I think I want to end here, and then let me take your final words before we rise. I wanted us to look at the education thing because Mahama has been talking. He believes that we are getting the fundamentals, the basic fundamentals wrong, and that might have contributed to the abysmal performance in last year's WASI. Maybe just a minute or two before on this.
It's right, it's true, because you see, for the last 8 years, what have we been concentrating? Everything we spoke of is free SHS. But you have to know that before one gets to secondary school, one must start from primary. So if the fundamentals are weak, if the basic fundamentals are, or the basic education is weak, it will be exposed at the secondary level. And the same will be exposed at the tertiary level. Teachers are writing licensure exams. The last time the chief examiner posted some of the scripts, you would weep. And these are the ones that are going to teach our young ones. Go to the universities, lecturers will tell you that we are not in the best shape of time. So what we do is that we go back to the basics, invest more in our basic education so that we get it right. When you get a solid foundation, it will reflect at the secondary level and it also reflect at the tertiary level.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for passing through. I've been in discussion with Prince Derrick J, PDA. This time I got it right. Former presidential staffer. Thank you so much with us. Dr. Aminu Shitu is a former UN peacekeeping officer, and Solomon Owusu is a director of communication at the United Party UP+. Thank you, gentlemen, for making time to pass through, and thank you so much for doing the watching. My name is David Otokuno Ato, a sat-in for Kwame Owusu Danso. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Have a very productive day. Good morning.
Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.